The name of our story is MarianAnderson, a great singer, based off of the Great African American series. MarianAnderson, a great singer, written by Patricia and Frederick McKissick. Chapter 1. Sing, Marian. Sing. MarianAnderson was born on February 27, 1902. Her father worked on a coal truck in the winter and on an ice truck in the summer. Her mother cleaned houses. The Andersons went to church every Sunday. Mr. Robinson was in charge of the children's choir at Union Baptist Church. Mr. Robinson invited Marian to join the choir. She was just 6 years old, and so began her love of music. Marian grew up singing in church. She learned the old slave songs called spirituals. She sang alone and with others. Music filled her with happiness. Singing was almost as wonderful as going to the circus. Almost. Marian's family was poor. When her father died, they were even more poor. But Marian didn't mind working. She scrubbed her neighbors' front steps for a penny or two. She sang all the time. Her neighbors loved to hear her sing as she worked. One day, Marian heard music coming from a window. She peeked inside. A woman was playing a piano right in her living room. Marian was surprised. Weren't pianos found in churches? Yes. But now Marian knew that people could have pianos in their homes too. One day she wanted to have a piano in her house, she thought. Chapter 2. Me, 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 me. Marian and her sisters Alice and Ethel played together and went to school together. When they were in high school, they began wondering what they would do when they would grow up. Would they be doctors, lawyers, teachers as their mother had once been? More than anything, Marian wanted to sing. But could a poor black girl from Philadelphia sing well enough to make a living? Yes, she decided it was possible. Marian went to a nearby music school. Marian could hear singing, me, 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 me. Why are you here? We don't teach colored people, a woman told Marian. Go away. The words were unkind and mean. Marian felt bad, not for herself, but for the woman. How could a person love music and be so filled with hate, she thought. At last Marian found someone who was willing to teach her. Mary Saunders Patterson, her first voice teacher. Marian worked hard to pay for her lessons. Soon she was singing her scales. Then one day, Mrs. Patterson took Marian to sing for Giuseppe Boghetti, a very well-known music teacher. I cannot take a new student, Boghetti said, but I will listen to her sing. Marian sang Deep River for him. After hearing Marian sing, Boghetti smiled. He said she needed practice, practice, practice. Then Boghetti said he would take one more student, MarianAnderson. Chapter 3. High and Low Times. Marian had many happy times and sad times in her life. One very bad time came when she was 20 years old. Marian studied very hard with Boghetti. She had sung at churches in Philadelphia. Her voice was strong. She was good. Very good. Everybody said so. Why not sing in New York? Boghetti said, wait. You need more practice. But Marian liked the idea of singing in a big music hall like Town Hall in New York City. That is where Marian had her first concert. It was a terrible flop. Very few people came. The newspaper said, MarianAnderson has a good voice, but she needs more practice. Marian knew they were right, and Boghetti made her practice. She sang high notes, low notes, and all the notes in between. Learning how to sing well was hard work. Her practice soon paid off. Marian won a prize for singing. She got a chance to sing with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra in August 1925. She was good, very good. It felt great. She sang the high notes, the low notes, and all the notes in between. She had never sung them better. Chapter 4. Brava, brava. Marian went to Europe in 1929. Her first European concert was in Germany in early 1930. People cheered for her. Brava, brava, the crowds cheered. Next, Marian sang in Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Russia. Her voice was better than ever. She was very well known, but not many people in the United States had heard her sing. It was time to come home. Marian's first concert was set for December 30th, 1935, at Town Hall. On the boat trip home, Marian broke her leg. The show must go on, she told her family and friends. Only a few people knew her leg was broken. This time, Town Hall was full. Marian stood behind the piano. She wore a long blue dress. It was very quiet. The music began. Her leg hurt, but Marian sang and sang and sang. When she finished, the great hall burst into cheers. Marian sang all over the United States. She sang in the South, where black and white people were made to live separately. They could not go to school together, work or play together. They could not sit together on buses or in music halls. Whenever Marian sang before a crowd in the South, she bowed to the black people first. That was her way of showing she cared. It also showed that she was proud of her race. Brava! Brava! They cheered for her. Chapter 5. Oh, what a morning. Marian sang at the White House for President Franklin D. Roosevelt and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Mrs. Roosevelt also invited Marian's mother to the White House. In 1938, Howard University invited Miss Anderson to sing in Washington, D.C. at Constitution Hall. But the Daughters of the American Revolution, who owned the hall, said no black person could sing there. Marian was sad, not for herself, but for the DAR. Other people were very angry about the way a great American was being treated. One was Mrs. Roosevelt. She left the DAR to let the world know that she didn't like the way Miss Anderson was treated. Then, on Easter Sunday morning in 1939, MarianAnderson sang in Washington, D.C. Oh, what a morning! She sang the national anthem before 75,000 people of all races at the Lincoln Memorial. As always, a MarianAnderson concert ended with the spirituals she learned as a child. She sang, "My soul is anchored in the Lord." It was very beautiful. Some people cried. In her long career, Miss Anderson won many honors and made many records. She sang for crowds all over the world. In 1955, she became the first African American to sing a leading part at the well-known Metropolitan Opera in New York. She also sang at the March on Washington in 1963, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his "I Have a Dream" speech. Oh, what a morning! She even got to sing at Constitution Hall. A great conductor, Arturo Toscanini, said Marian had a voice heard once in 100 years. MarianAnderson retired on April 19, 1965, after a concert at New York Carnegie Hall. She will be remembered as a person who brought people together through music. Yes, she still does have a piano in her Connecticut house, and she still sings while doing light chores at home.